Terry, a packed first half there, I think you'll agree.
It was good, wasn't it? Fast and furious.
It was fast and furious, but very learned as well.
Yeah, we've learned about this octave shape, and we've been transferring the octave shape because of the symmetry of the bass, and we were moving around using that exercise 3, from A to G. There's another exercise in the pack, exercise 4, so the viewers at home should take the time and give themselves the opportunity to perfect that octave changing and get smooth and fluent with it, get it under control by using exercise 4.
It's a tricky skill, and it's one that we've got to practice.
Yeah, conceptually understanding it is one thing, but as ever, once you've got that knowledge and you understand it, it's then applying that, getting it out into the real world.
Excellent. What's next?
Well, we'll skip by exercise 4 and go straight to the next section, which, as you can see, is developing our octave shapes for C and D. We learned those notes some time ago in an earlier lesson.
Yeah.
So the octave shape is a fantastic invention because we can now use that on any note. So I've immediately put my fretting hand, my first finger, which we always use the first finger to play the lower note of the octave shape, on the 3rd fret, and you're copying me. Fantastic. What a good pupil you are.
Yeah.
And then the 4th finger completes the octave shape. And remember, it's got that L shape to it, so you go up 2 and across 2, very good.
2, 2, yeah.
And that is the octave shape on C. 1st finger, 4th finger, 3rd fret, 5th fret. So we've now gone sneakily, without even announcing it, up onto the G string for the first time. We're actually playing the G string. We haven't announced it, haven't made a big song and dance about it, because the octave shape just gives us this fantastic system of transferability where we can access all these new things and go even higher on the bass. At the moment there's C, so let me just switch
let's have a
my
listen to
bass
that,
on.
the low and the high.
Yeah, would you like to hear it? Here it comes. There's the low C, and there's the high C.
The brilliant thing about this octave shape is, you know, we knew that C, now we apply that, we've got the high C straight away.
So as ever, we're bringing everything together, a combination of all our knowledge and understanding, yeah. I'm not worried about the rhythm or the timing or the media files at the moment. I'm simply making sure I've located those notes properly and that my octave shape is secure but at the same time comfortable, so that in a moment we can move it, we can transfer that shape around to another note. So yeah, I could practice that a few times, as in exercise 5, just playing quarter notes with this C octave shape pattern.
Okay, give us an example, yeah. Low, high, low, high.
1st finger on the low, 4th finger on the high. Remember the octave shape, 2 up and 2 across. And this is the C octave. I'm not using a media file at the moment, just doing my own personal practice to check that I know what I'm doing and I'm comfortable with it before I switch on the technology.
Okay, how can we progress this then? So we've got the octave shape on C.
We've got the octave shape on C, so we've now learned the octave shape on G and A and C. There's another note we know, it makes sense.
Indeed, it's that D note.
Yep. So we move up to D, which is on the 5th fret of the A string.
Yeah.
And we use the 1st finger. I see you're already there.
I'm there.
And then the octave shape, up 2 and across 2, that little L shape. So there we are, there's the low D and there's the high D. And again, we're playing the G string, the 1st string, the thinnest string, for the first time again. And we're all the way up here on the 7th fret, which if you thought about that cold and just said we're going to do this now, everyone would get a little anxious about it. But the fact that we've just kind of, you know, arrived at it because of the safety, the relative safety of this octave shape. So it's a really good device which allows us to move things around.
Yeah, a natural progression.
So here's the D, and here's the high D. 1st finger and 4th finger as ever. And then, as ever, there's an exercise to support this and practice this. I'll just do it on my own first. There it is.
There it is. So if you're following along with the notes, you've got exercises 5 and 6, and that's for your C and D.
Great.
There you go. Exercise C, just the D.
Yep.
Exercise 6, just the D, rather.
Exercise 6 is D, yeah. And I might want to try, I'm going to go back to exercise 5 now. It's a very easy thing, isn't it, to just go, okay, fine, move on, move on, move on. I'm not really sure that when it comes to the next exercise, which I assume, I'm sure you're the same, is going to be a combination of those two. I'm just going to go back and make sure that I've really nailed exercise 5. There's there's my C thing.
Isn't that a good attitude to have to all the kind of exercises?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I mean, it's very easy, isn't it, to say, OK, I've got to the end, finished. You go, well, let's just review all that stuff. Let's just make sure that if we are going to be performing, playing in a band, ultimately, you know, we'd hope to be recording with that band. And as we found already throughout the Essential Bass Skills lessons, the technology is very, very accurate. So you want to make sure you are too. So yeah, it's a good thing to go back and double check things and just make sure, as I was doing then with the previous exercise, and then I can think, okay, yeah, here's the next exercise, there's the D. Because I know that any minute now there's going to be an exercise coming at me which makes me, helps me, encourages me to practice moving between C and D octave shapes.
Should we have a look at that exercise?
Let's see if it's there. We both know the answer to this.
Okay, so now we've got playing all octave shapes learned so far, G, A, C and D.
Yeah. Talk about turn the heat up.
Exactly, that's everything. That's all the notes that we've learned, that's all the octave shapes that we've learned to this point so far.
Absolutely, Natalie, well said, yeah. All the notes we've learned so far. So we're going to play a bar of G, and then a bar of A, and then a bar of C, and then a bar of D. But not content with just that, we're going to play an octave shape on each of those notes. So playing octave shapes for all the notes learned so far.
So we've got A in the first bar.
G in the first bar.
A in the first bar.
A in the first bar.
I don't want to have a fight with you, Terry.
Just checking.
A in the first bar, then G, and then we've got C, and then D.
Perfect. You know more than I do. I'll let you do it.
I didn't want to tell anyone.
And we're only using quarter notes.
Yep.
So let's have a look at the video.
Good idea.
See this in action. It gives me a chance to work out my moves. Here comes the video. So as you said...
So first note?
A. And then he moves down to G. Across to C.
Up to D.
Okay, great.
A. G. C. D.
This is not dissimilar to an exercise we played in an earlier lesson without the octave shape.
Yeah.
We built rock grooves, bass rock grooves, using those root notes moving around. Do you remember? There are different kind of combinations. We're doing exactly the same thing here, only each time, instead of just playing a root note, we're playing an octave shape.
Just revise root notes for me, just quickly.
Yeah, just the root note of A is what we learned earlier, the root note of G, and the root note of C, and the root note of D. And what we've done now is we've extended our knowledge by playing the root note and an octave above it, and then moving them all around.
Okay, I mean, it's a series of rectangles, really, isn't it? And sort of upside down letter L.
That's a great way to describe it, yeah. So just locking that shape and moving it around that shape. Get those fingers out of the way. It's just that shape, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very rock shape.
I mean, obviously, just to remind, I'm sure you guys all know by now, but Terry, you're a left-handed guitarist. I am a right-handed semi-bass guitarist.
It's coming along nicely. You're doing
Yeah,
fine.
we're getting there. Terry, we should practice this.
Yeah, let's practice it.
Okay, I'll bring the extractor up there.
Thank you. I'm ready with my octave shapes, moving them around.
I'm ready to hit play. 1, 2, 3.
Go.
There's our first bar, that's A, and then G, and up to C, and then D.
So just moving that octave shape around.
Yeah?
Same shape. First finger on the low and the fourth finger on the high.
And it's the same pattern you're doing, isn't it?
Just a 4-bar exercise, and it's just to help me improve my control, my fluency, moving around and playing an octave shape on each of the notes we've learned so far.
Yeah. Oh, if we were recording that, we'd have picked that up, wouldn't we?
It's pretty unforgiving, isn't it?
Exactly. My ears are becoming more tuned to you now. Fantastic. That's the end of the Gigajam band for the moment. How was that? Any tips or advice that we could give to the viewers on practicing that?
Yeah, I mean, you saw then, you know, I was playing it and talking to you, and it's very easy to make a slightly out of time note, or don't worry about it, you know, stop it. If you're not sure what you're doing, go back over it again like we did earlier with those exercises. We'd moved on from exercise 5 to 6, and then when I played exercise 6, I thought, oh yeah, let me just check exercise 5 again. It's very easy with all this information coming at you quickly. So it's a good idea, as we said just now, to go back and check it. So again, you know, the pressures of us only having half an hour to go through all this fantastic information. At home, you don't have to restrict yourself to half an hour. You can take as much time as you like. So I think that'd be a really good thing. This is just a 4-bar exercise. It could be a 40-bar or a 400-bar exercise. Just loop it around, because the whole point is, if you don't feel comfortable with it, if you can't move it around, if you're not playing the right notes in the right time, or it doesn't sound and feel good, then obviously something's wrong. So stop it and check what's wrong. Fix it if you need to, and then dial it all up and play again.
Terry, today's lesson is almost up. Lesson 7 is at a close. What's happening in episode 8?
More of the same. You know, that progressive learning, flowing on from where we were, using a lot of the skills we've been practicing here in lesson 7. One of the big things coming up in lesson 8 is root and fifth.
Root and fifth?
Root and fifth.
I don't know what that is.
It's another of the essential bass skills that you'll need. That's the good thing about Gigajam. You know, we're not only giving you a whole load of knowledge, of course we're doing that,
absolutely,
helping you to understand it, but essentially the most important thing of all is putting it into practice so that you can play not only with a virtual band like the Gigajam band, but with a real band too.